Hey, I'm John Smothers.
Hi, I'm Delaney Hogg.
And I'm Bailey Bruns. My group's Habits to Mind project was on creativity. The use of creativity targets post-secondary college-level students in order to help prepare them for the demands of the 21st century. The construction of our project was a grueling process of throwing ideas out there and piecing together which ones we thought would most effectively get our points across to the reader. We would like readers to understand that it is okay to step outside of your comfort zone and try new things. You can't be afraid to express yourself in new ways.
So I also helped with the research that we conducted. We specifically did the interview in the library with Cameron. He was a great source and I was the note taker on that part of the assignment, but I really tried to help bring that into our draft as well and use all the information that he told us. We really wanted to make the key parts of our guide stand out, so we decided to use different colors for the headers, one specific color in general, not a bunch of random ones. We wanted it to seem organized and have a specific color scheme just so that it would be the most visually appealing. We also decided to use text that we found informational, that we found useful in order to get the most of our guide. We want students to be able to read our guide and get a lot out of it, so we really tried to focus in on what we felt was important in our guide and for creative writing at the collegiate level. So we decided to focus in on that and really just put in what we felt was important and what we felt was needed. We focused text on what we felt was important, what we felt students needed to hear and wanted to hear, but also what we enjoyed reading and finding out throughout this whole process. As for visual effects, we tried to focus on things that would make it the easiest to read and accessible for students, and also just focusing on what students wanted to hear, what parts they needed to see. That's why we specifically used colors to differentiate the headers from the regular text, and I think by doing that we really showed off what specific parts of the text would be the most useful for students. By having headers, it allows all the information to be more accessible and easy to find for the eye. So we decided to use the CRAP design principles throughout our guide. So first off, for the contrast, which is C, we decided to use a background color for the headers and also a different color for the header to make the headers stand out even more. By having a color scheme, we really showed off the R and the CRAP principles because R is repetition, so by having a color scheme we were able to repeat the different colors that we needed throughout the paper, which were able to make things stand out in the paper but wasn't going crazy with any sort of colors or madness. So we really tried to repeat colors and have one big color scheme in order for it to be organized but not be over the top. So for alignment, we decided it'd be good for the words to be aligned with the pictures and just have straight, clean, concise edges. That way it'd be easy for the reader to read, and we just thought that that'd be nice visual appeal also. So for the proximity of our guide, we really tried to focus in on the spacing, which really just means for our pictures and our text, we tried to space them out accordingly and also focus in on the alignment with those as well. But we really wanted to focus on spacing. That way it would just be the easiest and clean and organized as possible for our readers. So my group and I were asked what form of composition did we take. So we used a guide so that students could better their writing abilities and we would be able to aid them in the transition of students from high school to the collegiate level in writing. So we tried to use appropriate language to address the audience we were trying to reach, and we addressed this by using student level examples and also personal experiences. My group built a strong argument by doing research and conducting an interview with an expert on creative writing. We took what the expert said and applied it to our guide, and we applied ethos to our guide by having multiple sources and conducting applicable research. We applied pathos by encouraging and motivating students to be inspired and take risks in writing.
Again, I'm John Smothers, and my biggest contribution to this draft was the intro, background, and significance of the habit of mind we used. Throughout the process of writing in my group, I always tried to ask where I was needed and made sure I did the work that I did as well as I could for the grade we wanted in our group. Now, on to revisions. We had a lot of great feedback on our rough draft, and we used most, if not all, of the feedback presented to us. Maggie Fox gave great feedback on how we can make our intro and even more of an attention grabber for the students reading so that they would be more interested in our draft and our habit of mind. Laura gave us advice on how to fix grammatical errors in our draft, which will make it look even more professional and credible for students reading it. Matthew then gave advice on how to quote and paraphrase other documents that we used throughout our draft, which helped with our sourcing. Next, I would like to talk about which assignment was most useful to me and my group. This assignment would be the Writing Center interview. This interview as a whole helped us understand what creativity meant to other college students so that we would better understand our audience. In turn, this helped us complete our draft because of our knowledge on how others felt about certain topics. The last thing I want to talk about is what other habit of mind we used in our draft other than talking about creativity. This would be openness. We used openness the most in our draft because we stayed open to other people's ideas and suggestions during the revision phase, and also we most importantly stayed open to each other's ideas as a group. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bailey Bruns, and the biggest contribution I made to the draft was writing the discussion section, the student example, the conclusion, and also designing the guide. I went back following the feedback we got from other members in the classroom and reviewed the recommendations they made. Following that, I consulted with my group members of how they would like to go about adjusting what needed to be changed.